First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai Bashim Rakak Wadash, and double honor to the apostles of the great millstone that taught us this truth, and to include the elder bishops on down as well. And Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai Brakathum to the overall elect, and it's your brother Laban as well. And what I want to get into is what was said this weekend, or weekend prior, should I say. And this JOO, he walks past us, right? He doesn't come up to us. He just walks past us, right? On that sidewalk over there. And he heckled out, "Are you guys the new Hebrews?" And that's just from what I've gathered from hearing. And, the answer to that question is, as well as they know that we're the ancient Israelites, as we are connected to those people. We are those people. To be exact, let me better yet say that instead, as well as, again, they even know. All right. But what I will say, though, is this, is that it is a new thing, because we've been reformed. We've been restored from being lost souls to being found. All right. And that's all by the doings of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai. So let's read this as well. Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. "And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever." Absolutely, which shall burn forever. Now, when we look up this word ever, the word is iwalam, which means a long duration of time, and that's what makes sense accordingly to this, because we've been restored back to our heritage. So if the Lord was angry for us forever and ever, then we wouldn't know who we are right now. There would be no Israelite camps. You wouldn't have no GMS. You wouldn't have no IGBK. You wouldn't have no camps. All right? Because no one would come to declare the way that we are the people. Okay? So what you can say is, yes, we're the old Israelites that were in the land before and got out of there because of many situations in history. The main one dealing with what happened in 70 AD, where you had the majority of us that stayed within the realms of Jerusalem and died in there. And I mean, all you got to do is, if you want to check that history out, just read the Josephus. And so even to include, you had other Israelites that actually went out of there and listened to what Yahweh Shai mentioned about when the abominations and the desolations come through the land. So for so long, we ain't been there because of those situations going back to those times. All right. And as a process of time, we've lost our heritage. But the main issue here is Esau, which we came in contact with, right around the 1700s. This was a moment in time where we wouldn't be as we once were. Just like they showed you in The Roots, right? That film called The Roots, where they hung Kunta Kinte upside down, and he was forced to change his name to Toby. And that was just an indication of him going from one way to the new way, which is after the way of the master, after the way of his conquerors. In other words, being colonized. You know what I mean? So that's what's happened to us. We've been forced against our will to be slaves and to go along with the new false way, the Western way of things, and doing the things that our enemies have been doing, and upholding, their culture and heritage and what have you instead, right? And I want to tie this in as well with Deuteronomy 28:64. "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the end of the earth, from one of the end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." And that's what happened to our people even in the Eastern slave trade. They were also colonized to accept Islam. All right? So yeah, that's what happened to us as a people. So for a very, very long time, we've been acting as the heathen and doing as the heathen have been doing and celebrating their holidays and partaking in, their customs. And so this is like a new phenomenon that out of nowhere, you got now a bunch of jakes standing around with the robes on, with a 12 tribe sign at the center of them. Like, what is this? Whoa. And speaking of the word phenomenon, that's how people have been viewing us for years, too. You'll either see people, looking at you like they ain't never seen something like that before. And then you'll have people come around taking pictures unawares, or they'll inquire to take a picture. As that's written as well, that what? We will become a spectacle unto the nation. Why? Because it's phenomenal looking, man. And then when they do the research, they find out, oh, man. So what they're saying is that they're the Israelites. They're the real Jews. Okay, And then people get offended by that statement or statements that we've made along the way as they do their research. And it just twists up things. It just flips their world upside down. And that's what this truth does to you and even to our enemies. It flips their world upside down, man. I mean, I remember when I first came into the truth, man, you had certain devils that would literally go online and talk about the Israelites because they were mind boggled by it. The ones of them anyway. You had this one JOO that came out and said, yeah, you guys, it's true. You guys are the real Hebrews. But now this truth has become so large and has there's another word I can use. This truth has evaporated to a whole different level to where people have to accept it now. Our enemies, especially, they have to accept it. They can't use cognitive dissonance. They can't overlook it in the which way that they think they can. The only thing they can do is look at it, and that's what we've been getting. Just eyes locked into us, man. It's like we're unresistible. So you can't deny the truth in these last days. The Lord wants this truth to come out, and He wants this truth to be seen. And as time progresses, we're going to be popping more, and people are going to have to look. And the next thing after that is what? They're going to do their research. All they got to do is go on AI and tell AI what are something along the lines like black men wearing robes. Like, what is that about? They can pose a question to AI. What are black men with robes on? Something along those lines. They could go on AI and type the AI, who are the black men wearing robes outside with Bibles in their hands, with a 12 tribe sign in the middle. They could do, they could type something like that to AI. You know what I'm saying? They could type something like that with AI, man. They could go on ChatGPT or any other AI chat setups. They can go on ChatGPT. They can go on all kinds of AI chat systems and ask AI, what are these men about? And AI will tell them. So anyway, this is Lamentations 5 verse 21. Turn thou us unto thee, O Lord Yahweh, and we shall be turned, renew our days as of old. And that's what's happening right now. We're coming back as we were as in the days of old. And it all started in America. Like it's written in the book of, Hosea, right? Hosea 1 and 10. It reads that it would be said in the land where it would be considered that you are not my people. There would be said you are the sons of the living power. And it all started in what? 1 West. It all started in 125th and Harlem. And that's where the forerunners of the faith came from. You had Abba Bivens and the rest of our elders going all the way back, which we come out of that pure chain. right? So ever since then, from the time that we're in right now, this truth has become very popular. And it started going popular around, 2007. Now this truth is unresistible. You can't resist it. And when you see it, you got to look, because it's like, man, we popping out here. It's nice and sunny outside at the same time, man. You know, and every time Jake do something, man, or even when Jake presents themselves, they got to pop to them, especially if they doing the right thing. You know? So, yeah, you know, this Israelite thing is definitely becoming, or has already become popular. Let me put it that way instead. So the Lord has turned us back from being lost children to being found children. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 22. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return, and the consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. For the Lord power, Yahweh of hosts, shall make a consumption even determined in the midst of all of the land. So there you go. You know, so the remnant are going to return instead of all Israel, because the Lord ain't really concerned with all of Israel right now. He'll be concerned with them later when they come back as newborn babies out of the loins of the elect that make it. All right. And Isaiah 1 and 26, I want to bring this to the mix as well. And I will restore thy judges as at the first, and thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterward thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city. So this is already happening right now. We are being restored as the judges as at the first. Now let's look up the word judges, right? Which the word is what? Shapat. So we're basically, you could call this the Shapatyam, which means to judge, govern, vindicate, punish, to act as a lawgiver or judge or governor. And who were the lawgivers? The Levites were. And we're becoming Levites after the order of Melchizedek. Okay? Of God, man, to rule, govern, judge, to decide controversy, to execute judgment. And that's what we do when the person comes up, right? We pull out the precepts and we judge them accordingly to the things that they say or the things that they are. And we tell them, look, especially if it's something that's bad, we'll tell them, look, bro, like, you can't be doing that. You gotta get off of that. Otherwise, if you don't, this or that is gonna happen to you. And how do we do that again? We open up the Bible and we show them where they're going off at. All right, discriminating of man, vindicating, condemning, and punishing. Right. So there you go. So that's what we're there to do. We're there to condemn wickedness. And if someone does something right, there's a judgment that will show them too on that regard. You know, it ain't always got to be bad, but primarily for the most part it is. Right? So yeah, that's all I got to say with this part over here. Yeah, so just as well as to put it once again, I mean, are we the new Hebrews? No, we're not the new Hebrews. We're the Hebrews. And just like I said, right, this is something that we've reclaimed yet again. So it looks like it's a new thing. And just to even mention this too, as well as John the Revelator put it, he said that he saw what? New Jerusalem coming down from heaven. Right? And the New Jerusalem represents the people. It don't represent some city or a church coming down out of heaven like the lousy ass Christians would have you believe, because they don't really have a thorough understanding of the scriptures and they can't see through the dark saying of that. All right. So yeah, we are the New Jerusalem. You can even say that too, in the sense of us being renewed. In the Greek sense, kainos. All right. So like I said, that's why people look at us like it's a new phenomenon, because to a degree it is. But we're those same people that lost our heritage. All right. So yeah, so I want to change topics now, and I want to get into this over here. As you can see, this is the end time headlines. Or pastor known for marriage advice arrested at rumored swingers community accused of having multiple wives. a 62-year-old pastor who built a ministry around strengthening marriages, was arrested Wednesday at the Villages, a massive Florida retirement community long rumored to be a hub for swingers activity. Leslie Williams was taken into custody by the Sumter County Sheriff's Office on an outstanding bigamy warrant from Georgia, Rockdale County. Right, and just to include too, man, this pastor, he was off anyway because he shouldn't have been at this swingers event. But what I will say is that what he did isn't there's no wrong in him actually having multiple wives. Like, here it is in this society, 2 dudes can get it in and get married with all of that debauchery, and 2 women could do the same thing, but yet this man doesn't have the human right to actually exercise to have multiple wives. That's insane. But again, we live in an insane world, ruled and governed by a bunch of Edomites, devils, Satan's children. Yeah, so now we're going to move to Proverbs 15 and verse 26. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord, but the words of the pure are pleasant words. And that's basically the point. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord, and so are an abomination to the righteous. That's the reason why Yahweh has to come and destroy this goddamn place, man. Because this place is getting more and more insane. Okay? And if this man don't come out of power anytime soon, this devil is going to literally destroy everything around him. And the spirit of death is just going to be very well apparent. And this is not what the Lord created this earth for. He didn't create this earth so that death can just have its way for eternity. Like, no, the earth was created so that we can live in it. So the one who created it has to come back to destroy this damn place and put this earth under the right frequency, man. The frequency of life, as I would put it. Psalm 73 and verse 9. And they set their mouths against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Right, because it's in the power of their hands. They rule the planet Earth. They're in the power seat right now. So if their tongue walk upon the face of the earth, guess what? Good is evil and evil is good. As this is written, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. And this can include Jake too. And woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. Therefore as the fire devoureth the stubble, and the flame consumeth the chaff, so their root shall be as rottenness, and their blossom shall go up as dust, because they have cast away the law of the Lord of hosts, and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. Therefore is the anger of the Lord Yahweh kindled against his people, and he hath stretched forth his hand against them, and have smitten them. And the hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Yeah, and the Lord is going to show his anger yet again when Yahweh Shai comes back. 2/3 of our own people, they're going to be wiped out right along with their enemy, who they was mingling themselves with. Okay? That's what's about to hit. Because remember, the scripture says that the Lord is angry with the wicked every day. And so once again, we can even include the wicked among our people too. All right. Especially they that want to support Esau by continuing on these lies and the deception that Esau has been pushing for all these years. All right. So Yahweh Shai at the end of the day is going to destroy this place. And that's what we're expecting. That's what we're eager to look forward to. Zechariah 5 and verse 4, I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof. So what do you consume with the timber thereof? Fire. So Zechariah is referring to this flying scroll or the flying roll, right? Which is really a chariot. And it was an indication that this thing is going to proceed. But you see, as the scriptures put it, there's going to be a large ship. I'm referring to other scriptures I'm talking about, especially the one which is mentioned in the book of 2nd Ezra 13, as Ezra the prophet saw in the vision, right? He saw a mountain removed as he likened it as, but it wasn't really a mountain. It was a large, ginormous ship. And that's how Yahushua is coming back. He's coming back in that ginormous ship, which is the Father ship. And in that is going to be flames of fire, lasers being shot forth out of those ships to pelt this city down to nothing. And once again, this is the reason why you have the men on the streets or in the hedges that are preparing that way to you. And that's why we're telling our people to repent, because an overriding destruction is coming upon these devils, man, and upon those that want to disregard the word of our people for the most part. All right, because they're the only ones that can receive the word. So yeah, like I said, if you can get arrested for having multiple wives, we're in a bad case, bro. This place gotta go, man. So with that, I'm closing. Shalom.